Right, 1972, I think it is, yeah, 72. Saab 96 V4, Ford engine in it. Basically coming for recommissioning. He knew it had some rust in it, but there's a lot more than we anticipated. But, I mean, if you did it all properly, matched everything, put all the swage lines in it and everything, it would take forever and cost a fortune. But if we're just slapping plates over it and welding it up to get it MOT passable, then it'll be a lot quicker. But it has got a lot of rust in it. Like, it's underneath the petrol tank. It's all rotted out. But as I say, if you haven't got to do what I call a serious professional, like you can't see the repairs,
yeah,
then it would take you a long time. But like that, clean it up, fold the plate up, put it over there, weld it up, brush on seam sealer, it's MOT passable.
Yeah. So what are the rules with the MOT? And
has to be fully welded. You used to be able to stitch weld, like leave an inch, weld an inch, but you can't now. It has to be fully welded, and anything within 30 centimetres of a structural point, i.e. like where your shock absorber goes through there, obviously that's within 30 centimetres, so that's all got to be welded up.
Yeah.
Had a lot of welding done before. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of welding. That's your biggest area of repair, those two corners up by the struts,
yeah,
and across the boot floor there. But like I say, if you haven't got to build this, put returns on it, blah blah blah, just clean all that back to clean metal, put a plate on it, hey ho, job done. Floors are gone, which I kind of expected anyway, so, but again, it's just put a flat plate on it, weld it up. Same that side. Got some bits in that rear quarter panel has gone completely, so that'll need chopping off and rebuilding. Holes in the floor here and there, either side of where the rear axle mounts, so they'll have to be done. This bottom doesn't seem too bad. I'll give it a bash around, there probably are holes in it, so, but that's just put a plate in over there, seam seal and under seal it. All the brakes need replacing, everything, the whole lot, which is not unusual for a car that's been sitting in a garage for 25 years or however long it is.
Yeah.
Engine started surprisingly easily. That's a little Ford V4. Before that they were 3-cylinder 2-stroke engines. We know the clutch is gone, but I found the clutch pipe was off, so it possibly is that. But while it's in this situation, if we've got to talk to the customer and see if he actually wants to go ahead with it. If he does, then we'll pull the engine, give it all a good jet wash and clean up in there. The good thing is it's covered with oil, so it'll all be white underneath there, what it should be, you know.
Yeah.
Check out CV boots. Don't want to take the gearbox out if we don't have to, because they're a bit of a pig. Yeah, it needs headlamps, it needs brakes. It's got one new front or second-hand front wing, because that one, you can see the indicator rotted out of it completely. And the other one is bad as well, but it's not as bad. A few little repairs around here. As I say, it looks a lot worse than it actually is. It's still a lot of welding.
And paint-wise?
He's not worried about it cosmetically, he just wants it, you know, to drive.
Okay.
As such, I think, at this stage. From the conversation I had when I went, you can't tell by looking at something in a garage, you know, you've got to take it apart, hence we've taken the whole car apart. Didn't want to take the fuel tank out, but if it's that rotten underneath, you can't weld up with a fuel tank in it. So you need new flexes on the back, these brake pipes will have to be changed. As long as it's all nice and solid like that, you just clean up to there, cut that off of there, go to that line there, then you won't have a weld problem. Up to there, across there, weld a plate in there, which is a flat plate.
Yeah.
You just tack it in one place and tap it in till it fits. And then you've got a bit up inside there, it's got to be done. Again, it all looks horrendous, but it's not the end of the world. All of this. See that yellow chalk?
Yeah.
That's where the MOT inspector's gone like that with chalk.
Okay.
So he had been taken for an MOT beforehand, bolt snapped again. Just scrape it back like you've got a little hole there. So just cut that out. It's not a plating. Like here. That's gone. You haven't got to worry about the shapes. Like if I was doing something like, you know, a concourse restoration, you cut that out and you make all these shapes, you take that off, you repair that.
Yeah.
Don't need to do it, you know. Cut that off there. There. Along that bracing piece there. And just make a flat piece of metal with your folds on. And you can fully weld it here, fully weld it there, fully weld it there, along there. And then where those swages are, look, where that's rotten, we'll have to pull it back a bit, see what's going on underneath the mat there. So you've still got fresh paint to there, so you know you can weld to that line, yeah? There's no rust past that point there, yeah? So you've got a nice strengthening piece there. So just cut the floor off to there, all the way along, yeah? Then you can get underneath, bash the recess bits up. You can weld your new panel in that you've made up. Just on the folder over there, just put a 1/2 inch return coming up. You've got a little hole there, look. You've got a little hole there. So that'll come up, cover those, weld it in, and that's all it needs, you know. That's the main issue with MOT welding, is just cleaning everything back till you've got fresh metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be alright. MOT tester's chalk. Ta-da! I'll have a pasty, please.
It's always a bit shocking, isn't it, when you first start
Oh
taking
yeah,
these pieces.
yeah. But like that, probably take a couple of hours to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's if you've got to match all these swage lines and fold the floor and, you know, roll in all of those pieces and stuff like that when it takes time. If you're just putting a flat plate in it, it's a lot easier, you know. Probably needs new shockers all round, calipers rebuilt, new discs. Yeah, just everything you'd expect for something that's been sitting for that amount of time, you know.
Anything different about a Saab? We had another Saab come through here, so.
Just a bit quirky, really.
You said it's a Ford engine.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Ford built them or Saab built them, but it's a Ford-based engine. It's a Essex, I think it is, a V4. You used to put them in the Ford Corsairs. Yeah, quirky little engine, quite nice and small, so it'll come out easy enough. Wipers didn't work, all the lighting works. It started surprisingly easy, like I said, poured some petrol down it and it went. Then we rigged up the jury tank and had it running for a while. It's got a water leak somewhere. We know it was leaking from here, which is your thermostatic control, and I think possibly the water pump, possibly cylinder heads. Till we get it out, we don't know. Could be a core plug gone, you know. Like I say, until you get it out, you can't see anything around it.
Yeah. So you've been sitting indoors, outdoors? You say
been in a garage. Well, at some point it was in a garage. I think it was outside for quite a while.
Is there evidence like a water damage, or is it just from wear and tear from the weather?
Rust, isn't it? I mean, that's been outside. It's got all of that green on it.
Yeah.
So it's been sitting outside at some point.
So from your understanding, this car's been in the family for a while?
It's been in the family for a long time, yeah. Yeah, the wipers didn't work. So that's the only thing, realistically, that didn't work properly. Everything else kind of works.
Strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know when the last time it was actually driven or running, or?
No idea. We found a parking ticket for 2004. Or 30th, 11th 04 on a tax disc. So about 2004, so 21 years ago, I would say. You don't bother taxing someone if you sling it in a garage, do you? So
not normally.
You can see it's been overheating or something with all the rusty water that's there, but I read online these rads are known for blocking up, but that looks like a new radiator to me. It actually ran all right. No smoke coming out of it, no banging, knocking.
Good signs then.
Yeah. There's no water in the oil, so you'd expect that to be completely knackered, you know, but it's not. So it's such a dinky little engine. It's only that long, you know. A bit like a Buick Straight 8.
Yeah.
The bonnet cable's knackered. You can buy new ones. Found those online. All the wiring looks good.
talking earlier on about just replacing the floor pan instead of
Yeah, you can
individual.
buy some panels for them. Say you get that panel there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll take you longer to cut that out. I mean, you can lay it on top and weld it all the way around, but if you've just got to weld a piece there, it's going to be 20 minutes as opposed to 4 hours trying to cut the floor out, doing it that way, you know. Yeah, I mean, like I say, as long as you give it a good smash around with a hammer and a chisel, we've obviously got to take the seat belts out and make sure that you're getting all the rust. You know, because there's no difference between welding a plate in that wide or that wide. So you've got to make sure that there's no rust under there, clean all the underseal off and all that. Yeah, and then just take it from there, realistically. But it's had a lot of welding done before. I don't find it daunting at all because I've done a lot of it, you know.
And we've certainly seen things a lot worse than this.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. There's things like that on the bottom of that wing where it should be bolted on. They welded the wing on, so we had to cut it off. But you just put a little return on the wing and put a nut and bolt back through it.
You make it sound so easy.
Well, it is easy in reality. It's when you're getting into doing a concours restoration where you've got to match every flange on the floor, you've got to get it looking exactly perfect,
Yeah.
and you've got to do it so that you can't see where any of the welds have been. So, but if you're just laying plates over things and welding it up to get it through an MOT, then you got half the battle there, you know. It's making things, I mean, like the Buick, I think it took me 3 weeks to grind all the welds off of it. Flipping the body shell over, you know, making sure you couldn't see any of the welds. But on something like this, it's not necessary as such, you know.
Yeah. From your perspective, like from an artist's perspective.
An artist?
Well, you know, when you've gone from doing a concours vehicle to doing one where you don't need to do that, do you ever feel that you're not bodging it, but...
I mean, it's always nice to get things looking absolutely perfect and lovely, but you've got to work within the realms of what you got and customer's budget, you know, it's as simple as that. Yeah, you could do 7 grand, 8 grand on welding on this.
Yeah.
More than that, probably. You know, you just got to be sensible about things, and it's the value of the car, you know. It's sentimental value as well, because I mean, if it was his mum's or something like that and the customer really, really wants it, then you know, you're not here to rip people off, but at the end of the day, you can't do it for nothing, you know. Overall, grand scheme of things, yes, it looks worse than it is, but once you've done those back bits, you'll be away then, realistically. Those under the petrol tank, the 2 top corners, and that bottom of that wing there that's completely at it, that'll be the major bulk of what you've got to do, and then these are just bash them around, clear out what's clearly rotten, weld in new metal. Brush on seam sealer is your great friend because it hides a multitude of sins, but you still got to get it fully welded because an MOT inspector will find it.
Yeah.
So you've got to do it right. I mean, if you sent this away and had it shot blasted, you wouldn't have a lot left. So you've got to be realistic, you've got to be sensible.
It's Trigger's broom all over again, isn't it?
Well, to a point, yeah. To a point, yeah.